Alright, so before I get into the video, this is the new video I wanted to try out with a Pokemon of the week, where I talk about a Pokemon with a strange moveset that I think is underrated. If you're wondering why this sounds so scuffed, I tried to kind of rush it, because my videos get way too long, so I wanted to make this one short. So, now you know why it's scuffed. Also, for next week, I am thinking of Talonflame or Dracofish. I guess I'll see what I'll do then, but that was all. Right, so this week's Pokemon is Kyu Black, with kind of an old set. It's Max Attack Adamant with a Choice Band. It's almost max HP. And then it has the moveset of Dragon Claw, Icicle Spear, Iron Head and Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt will be mostly for stuff like Celesteela and Blastoise. Iron Head will be for the fairies, which you might think it's not really all that relevant or useful, but it comes into play more than you would expect. Icicle Spear for all the flying and grass bullshit, that will be mostly Rillaboom. And Dragon Claw just as a consistent stab move and against other dragons that resist ice types. So, for the damage calcs, if you run into a max HP, max defense Rillaboom, and I doubt any Rillaboom is running this, as long as you get 3 hits or more with Icicle Spear, you OHKO the Rillaboom. And if it's only 4 defense with max HP, which is more likely, of course you still OHKO it with 3 hits, but you get a chance to OHKO it with 2 hits. Which, considering how bulky Rillaboom is pretty impressive. The same goes for Incineroar, but with a little bit less effectiveness. While getting -1 from Incineroar's Intimidate, it still is able to put in a lot of damage with Dragon Claw. Very slight chance to 2-hit KO, but if it has a Citrus Berry it will never 2-hit KO, so that's something to know. And it still puts in a lot of work, and it will always be a 3-hit KO against the Incineroar. Which, considering how bulky and how much of a physical attack counter Incineroar is pretty impressive. And if you look at what Incineroar can do to Kyu Black, that's not much. It's somewhere in the mid-30s, which is actually nothing at all. So, actually, Kyu Black is pretty capable of dealing with Incineroar if it needs to. Of course it doesn't prefer it, but if it needs to, it can actually pretty easily solo the Incineroar. And this is probably my favorite part of it. Kyu Black can actually OHKO almost fully defensive and defensive focused in DDD. Because look at this, like, this is a very heavily defense focused set, right? And as long as you get 4 hits or more with Icicle Spear, you can OHKO it. Which, how many Pokemon are out there that can OHKO defensive Indeedee without hitting it with a super effective move? If you get 2 hits, you still do a large chunk to it. You see, 97. It's a lot. Dragon Claw can also do a lot of damage, but I would always go for Icicle Spear just to get the chance of OHKOing it. And not all of them will be like this defensively. Like, there are also a lot that are a bit more focused on dealing with Spudev mons. And if they have that, like, let's put this to 44. Then you're guaranteed OHKOing it with Dragon Claw. Nevertheless, I would still go for Icicle Spear, even if it's not a full OHKO chance with 2 hits, or 3 hits in this case, I guess. It still will do, like, most of the time. Like, a 10% chance you're not OHKOing is very slim. And then when we're talking about like what's max HP, it's not max HP for something specific. So if you want to take, like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 out of HP and put it into speed to just win the speed creep from other Kyu Blacks, you can do that. But let's say you're facing a Kyu Black with max special attack, but not modest. A Draco Meteor has a chance to OHKO, it's not even guaranteed. With 120 base special attack, with 130 base power move, which is stab, and it doesn't even kill, 100% of the time, that's impressive. You of course will just kill it back, like guaranteed, even if it's max HP, which is also very impressive. Kieran Black is really bulky, naturally already, but even with the 252 HP EVs, that's pretty impressive. I say EVs, it's EVs. Either way. But if this has a Haban berry, it will live pretty easily. Like, I say easily, but it will take something like 60%, which is still a lot. But that's something to take into account. I don't know how many like special Kieran Blacks run Haban berry. I don't think like it are too many. So I would still assume every time you face a Dranclaw, we'll just OHKO it. And then some other impressive cogs. If you face a Victini, max attack adamant with V-Create, which, to remind you, is a 180 base power move, which gets stab. You know, that's a 270 base power move then. Does only somewhere in the 60s. That's nothing, right? In Kieran Black, let's say this moves first and it's at neutral. You don't, or Kieran Black moves first. And Victini is in neutral, it doesn't OHKO. Nothing OHKOs it. But if it went for V-Create before you, or after you, I mean. Or no, sorry. Wait, what am I saying? Like when V-Create moves first, it will be at -1. And you have actually a chance to then, like, let's see, where's it? Oh, that's attack. Wait, you actually have a really decent chance to OHKO it. And also, let's say you still don't OHKO it, it will be at the -1 speed, so you will outspeed it probably and kill it back then, or do the last amount of damage, which will be something like 3 HP on it, so that's also pretty impressive. So, in general, I would say Kieran Black is an incredibly strong, really consistent Pokemon. It's a bit of an how would you call it, an ace card or something. It can take almost anything, like, and it will live, and then it will just kill it back. Which you end up then with 2 Pokemon on the field on your side. One of them will be, of course, very low, but the opponent can't ignore it, because otherwise the Kieran Black will also kill that Pokemon. So it's a really consistent and great mon. It basically OHKOs everything it has a super effective move for. Blastoise, as long as it doesn't have a Wakam Berry, dies to it, if I'm not mistaken, so that's all really good. And oftentimes you can also just OHKO stuff that it doesn't even have a super effective move for. So, one of the most consistent, strong Pokemon that is criminally underused with this set. And that was it for this week's Pokemon.